It's Conga Terminals! Well, it would be Junkertown by this point. What's up everybody, StevDeS here. The last time I talked about Team Fortress 2, I was interrupted by this Overwatch jerk. Oh, get over it, Grandpa! Hey! Don't make me bring out my frontier justice! It's my turn! Sure thing, Hat Simulator. War-themed Hat Simulator! Jerk! The first part of this what if elaborated on Overwatch and how their mission consists of a location close to Mann Co's location of New Mexico, just off of Route 66, where a now grown-up Olivia Mann is running the company. Why isn't Saxton Hale? Well, it's obvious. He owns England. Well, how the hell did he do that? After Mann Co invented the internet, led by Hale at the time, he bought out the entirety of England with the revenue. That makes no sense! And that's why Team Fortress 2 is better. Now get out! Anyway, even though Mann Co would have survived the Omnics, I highly doubt that every single mercenary decided to stick around. This was a worldwide problem in the world of Overwatch. And naturally, Mann Co would have had to pull in some of their other industries in order to make their base business in New Mexico survive the Omnic threat. This forced Olivia Mann to pool her resources into New Mexico, where Mann Co is mainly located, and decide to hold off on funding anything else. Let it all get destroyed as long as the main company exists. That's all she cares about. She abandoned the properties in Rottenburg, Germany, which I imagine could be near Eichenwald, and anything else she owned in Australia, mainly shipping companies. She also had to sell Mann Co, Saxton Hale's boutique line in Manhattan, New York. Man, so much man. This, of course, covered financial troubles, but as I previously stated, it didn't stop some of the mercs from leaving Mann Co. You have a giant Omnic human war going on. Some of those people are going to leave. In order, I think the Scout would stay. The reason why I say Scout would stay in Mann Co is because over time I can see him make a relationship with Miss Pauling, and after the administrator dies, there's something that needs to be filled. The position of the administrator. Naturally, Olivia Mann would probably promote Miss Pauling, and instead of the 1 day off a year, she would get an hour off a year, just like the administrator did. Man, I would not kill for that vacation time. Besides that, if they do have kids or a family by this point, which won't really be elaborated, I don't know, why don't you leave a comment below? I'm interested to see if Miss Pauling and Scout actually has a family. But in this scenario, Scout would still want to be near his beloved. And if that means knocking a few heads, that's a small price to pay. He likes doing that anyway. Sorry, Soldier Mains, but Soldier's not going to be around Mann Co after the Omnics are taken care of in America. He's fought his battle, he's made the war happen, he's become a war veteran. It's something soldiers always wanted. Not only that, but he turned a communist woman into an American woman. One who sees freedom, liberty, and the stars and stripes above anything. I think as a grizzled war veteran, Soldier would be just happy and he doesn't have to work for Mann Co anymore. He can retire and be happy with his wife, who's also Heavy's sister. I can't get enough of that one. The pyro is in, but I do have a little bit of a confliction about this. Pyro doesn't really amount to much in this part, so I'm going to leave it to you all in the poll up top. Does Pyro join Mann Co, or does Pyro go off do something else? Go off do something else. That's English. As long as Mann Co's giving him fiery things, I think he's okay. Demo Man would probably be dead by this point. Yeah, I'm gonna need to explain that. As far as I could tell, and this is what I love doing these what ifs for, I actually got to look up some Scottish slang and compare to see if it actually lines up with what he uses. Tavish Finnegan de Groot, being a lover of the drink and a user of fairly present day Scottish sayings. Yeah, there's no way he's going to survive all that alcohol. I don't care how many organs he can turn into functioning livers. Eventually, he's going to get to the heart, he's going to get to the lungs, and he's going to kill himself. So let's have a moment of silence for our fallen brother. A crazy bastard anyway. Engie would definitely still be around. He'll have access to whatever Australian storages they have left, and Mann Co could fund his experiments. In fact, bringing to life the Porta-Spencer. Yeah, you know that thing that everybody really wants for this engineer? Eventually, engineer would invent that. Would he be on the battlefield, though? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he performs a similar role to Torbjorn in part 1 of this What If. Now, as far... hate it when it does that. As far as Heavy's concerned, he's not part of Mann Co anymore. As soon as Mother Russia gets attacked by Omnics, he's not going to stick around.
Heavy must go. Mother Russia needs me.
I do believe that the sniper would stay. The reason why is because he's where the money is. Clearly Mann Co making weapons, that's where the money is, because there's still a lot of people afraid of Omnics. And then there's the medic. Oh boy, how am I going to explain this to the medic mains? He's not in Mann Co. The reason why is because Olivia Mann understands that with his experiments, she could easily cut costs and get Engineer to do a lot of it. Engineer has more than 10 PhDs. And he doesn't even have his medical license. There are some liberties that Mann Co gets, but they still have a practice to follow, and having a doctor without a medical license, that would be a big thing. I see Olivia Mann screwing that up for medic mains everywhere. What do you mean? No, I didn't screw it up. This is a hypothetical scenario. Alright, good. And finally, there's the backstabbing rogue himself, the spy. There would be one really good reason for Mann Co, and a couple of good reasons for the spy to stay with Mann Co. Mann Co understands what the spy is capable of. So many engineers. But I couldn't save them. I'm a pyro main. I'm a pyro. I should have been able to save them. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm sorry. For another thing, the spy understands that he's got a sort of bond with Scout, so he'd want to be there to be sure Scout's okay. You know, they have that sort of chemistry. To get them away from each other would be a horrible thing indeed. I don't even think the Omnics have the strength to do that. The other reason Spy would stay is because Spy's... I mean, where else is he going to get a freaking job? To be honest, he's one of the best assassins, but right now, in a time of a lot of confusion between good and bad, he could operate, but with Mann Co, he could operate much safer. That doesn't mean he's not going to be in trouble or anything. It also means that Mann Co's got his back. Besides, Mann Co's not going to let him leave. With these 5 mercs on Mann Co's payroll, this is how the scenario's starting. We open up with Miss Pauling just observing the war effort, 2 sides going at it, you know, basically training exercises. Not that they have robots by this point to do that. Mann Co wouldn't want to make that risk a second time. When it comes down to it, they just have mercenaries going at it, testing weapons, you know, basic stuff. I mean, they're Mann Co. They make products and get in fights. That's what they do. Scout would naturally come in and introduce himself, with or without his daughter. I'm interested in looking at that vote. We open up with Miss Pauling overseeing the war effort. Now, she would be met by Scout, and Scout would have a little dialogue with her. I don't know if they're married by this point, but they would be together. Spy would make sure that happens. Whether or not she actually has a kid by Scout, he would probably come in with the kid. And when he's called away, which I'm about to get to, he would leave the kid with their mother. I mean, their mother just sits in the chair and looks at him and counts down for a mission. You know, that sort of thing happens. Eventually, Olivia Mann does call all 5 mercenaries who have experience with robots to her main office. She has a mission. Because he likes Miss Pauling so much, I can understand the Scout taking his time getting to the mission objective. You know, Miss Pauling's not going to go anywhere. Might as well let her know, hey, you know, I'll be right back. Promise you. Once he gets outside the office, Scout sees Pyro playing with Spy's lighter and the other mercs there too. Sniper could be sharpening his blade, Engineer could be playing on his guitar, and the Spy, you know, naturally having a cigarette. Spy naturally wouldn't let Scout get away with being the last one there, so I can see the Spy go, "The fastest one on his feet should have taken the stairs." Scout would naturally reply with something like, "Yeah, well next time I won't give you a chance to be first. Why the hell are we all here anyway?" And that's when Olivia Mann calls them, because they're all looking at each other like, "I don't know why we're here." And Olivia was just waiting for everybody. As they assemble, she waits at her desk, just glaring at the door like, "I have to rely on these idiots again." Well, they're Saxton's best. I imagine there's a reason they stayed. "Seal the door. Lock it. This is private." After the doors have been sealed with some hard metal plating, several layers, she goes over the schematics of what her people have found about the mine. And she lets them know about the Australian. Scout immediately steps up to this offer and says, "Well, how are we going to destroy it? Come on, we can't let anyone else have that." Engineer agrees with Scout, because Scout's got 9 years. He's actually a lot more useful in the brains department. There's no way this Australian can be, and with Demo dead and Soldier in retirement, they don't really have much. I mean, he could build a bomb. They could easily push a cart just like they did in the payload days. That's when Olivia Mann grins, because she has other plans. "We are taking this Australian mine. There's no way we can let this metal go to waste. This is a way for Mann Co to be put back on the globe." That's when she explains about the Omnic force in tow to run the mine. Spy offers to run reconnaissance, but is quickly stopped by Olivia Mann. He's needed elsewhere. It's Scout who's going to go in instead of Spy. She needs someone to get in and get out. It's a speed mission, not a sneaky mission. Scout's perfectly fine with this. The only thing he's going to request of the engineer is to take a porta-dispenser with him, just in case. Olivia grants this request and tells 4 of the 5 mercenaries to go on and prepare. This is where Spy stays behind for a secret mission. Engineer, Scout, and Sniper decide to head out in Sniper's van and leave Pyro behind. Engineer, Scout, and Sniper all head out in Sniper's iconic van in order to, get a position, camp out, and then the following morning they'll go ahead and start the mission. It's unfortunate because the following morning they find a large jet heading over to the mine and dropping off a short amount of people. This is not good. Someone is aware of the Australian. Scout immediately runs at it, and Sniper gets ready with the Machina just in case he needs support. The Machina is the most powerful sniper rifle, and if they're dealing with Omnics, they need to be sure those Omnics go down in one shot. The jet drops people on the other side, and that's where Scout says, "I'm going to head over there." Heading closer and closer to the doorway, he sees some sort of giant robot monkey and what looks like a robot hawk girl? These people are strange, but they're standing right in the doorway, so Scout's got to get creative. That's when he radios to Sniper and says, "Can you take a shot right over to mine? I need you to draw these people away so I can get in. Bonk ain't gonna work." Sniper's got no problem doing this, but he tells Engineer to start the van because they're gonna need to drive immediately after the shot. Or start driving and he'll take the shot. Sniper doesn't miss. Okay, there's a lot of snipers that do miss. They're learning the game. Geez, Schmidt, you're moody today. With one tracing shot from the Machina, both people are distracted, and Scout takes that opportunity to drink some new and improved bonk and get on in there. Heading down the tunnel, Scout realizes there's bear traps all over the place. What kind of defense is this for robots or Omnics to take? This doesn't make any sense, but he's got a flashlight, so it's not going to be hard for him to avoid him. Plus, he's going to take his time. He needs to go in, get a map, and get out. He calls Sniper to report this, but Sniper's still driving around with Engineer just to be sure they don't get caught. They're hiding in the dunes, and whenever the bird thing goes back, that's when they go back to their regular position. However, the bird thing is being relentless in her pursuit, and she's not going to let them get away easy. He tells Scout that he needs to hurry because they mean business, whoever they are. He does, and shortly he sees the mining operation and what's performing the mining operation.
Robots. Why'd it have to be robots?
He makes his way around easy enough. This isn't the first mineshaft with Australium in it that he's been around. He knows where the control center is, so he goes in. He tries to find a map or some sort of data he can send to Mann Co. Get it going. As he's going, he hears a couple people nearby having a conversation, and the voices are getting louder. They're getting closer. He needs to think.
Oh crap.
Scout's looking hectically for somewhere to hide. He needs to get out of here before they come here, because they could be dangerous. They could be with a hot girl. That's when Scout finds some server software with a little bit of a hatch and opens it up, crouches in, and closes the door. He's staying silent as he sees a peg-leg guy and a fat guy roll on in. After hearing their plan to blow the mine up, Scout's gotta act. He can't let Mann Co. be without this Australium. He knows what his mission is. He gets his pistol ready and plans to grab the peg-leg guy, try to do a hostage situation. That's a good idea. He cocks his gun back, and that's when Roadhog puts Junkrat behind him. Roadhog's clever, and he's definitely ready for this. He opens the locker with his junk gun ready, and Scout's there with just a little pea shooter. And he's got a junk gun.
Hey there, fellas. I got a bucket of...
Who are you?
I'm the scout. I work for Mann Co. I can't really let you blow the mine up.
What the hell is Mann Co?
We sell products and get in fights.
Just then, a voice behind them tells Roadhog to let the boy go. It's the spy, holding Junkrat at gunpoint. He was sent out the previous night to assist Scout just in case something like this would happen. And Olivia Mann is this clever. Spy means business, and clearly he knows that this big guy isn't going to let Scout go. So he holds his hand out and demands the radio that they must have. If they have some help, then those people must be nearby. Roadhog realizes he's dealing with a smart son of a bitch and decides,
let him have it, but I'm not letting this wimp go.
Fair enough. Hello, strangers. I am the spy. Hiding won't help you.
Winston is getting angry as he demands to know,
who's there? What happened to Junkrat and Roadhog?
Relax, Ape. I am not here to kill you. I am here to make an offer. You see, there should be a van not far from your location, and I want you to meet my boss. Perhaps we can help each other out. But these robots are far more dangerous than you know. So here is how things will go. We are walking out of here with your friends, and you will be talking to Mann Co's president. Or else the rat gets it. By this point, Winston knows the gig's up. Junkrat and Roadhog are far too valuable to even throw away. Like McCree said, they could still sell them. Winston naturally just huffs at how the mission turned out.
We'll wait at the exit. We'll all regroup where you saw us, apparently. Tell your van friends to meet us there.
Fair enough. I will see you face to face, monkey.
A truce is in place and the map data is secured. Now they gotta get out without the robots harming them, which should be easy. They were all able to get in there. Junkrat and Roadhog might have had more of a wrecked up way though. But what do you guys think? Do you think they're gonna get out as easily as they got in, or do you think that Junkrat and Roadhog had a little bit of destruction on the way? I don't know, those bear traps seem suspicious, don't you think? Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm really interested in reading those comments. Let's come up with something really creative for two very polarizing video games. I want to see some really creative ideas for the future of this What If. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!